Bereshit, chapter
41.
And it came to pass at the end of 2 full years, that Pharaoh dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 kine, well-favored and fat-fleshed, and they fed in the reed grass. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them out of the river, ill-favored and lean-fleshed, and stood by the other kine upon the brink of the river. And the ill-favored and lean-fleshed kine did eat up the 7 well-favored and fat kine. So Pharaoh awoke. And he slept, and dreamed a second time. And behold, 7 ears of grain came up upon one stalk, rank and good. And behold, 7 ears, thin and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them. And the thin ears swallowed up the 7 rank and full ears. And Pharaoh awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And it came to pass in the morning, that his spirit was troubled. And he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt, and all the wise men thereof. And Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh. Then spoke the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I make mention of my faults this day. Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me in the ward of the house of the captain of the guard, me, and the chief baker. And we dreamed a dream in one night, I and he, we dreamed each man according to the interpretation of his dream. And there was with us there, a young man, a Hebrew servant to the captain of the guard. And we told him, and he interpreted to us our dreams, to each man according to his dream he did interpret. And it came to pass, as he interpreted to us, so it was, I was restored unto my office, and he was hanged. Then Pharaoh sent and called Yosef, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon. And he shaved himself and changed his raiment, and came in unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Yosef, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of you, that when you hear a dream, you can interpret it. And Yosef answered Pharaoh, saying, It is apart from me. Elohim will give Pharaoh an answer of peace. And Pharaoh spoke unto Yosef, In my dream, behold, I stood upon the brink of the river. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 kine, fat-fleshed and well-favored, and they fed in the reed grass. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them, poor and very ill-favored and lean-fleshed, such as I never saw in all the land of Egypt, for badness. And the lean and ill-favored kine did eat up the first 7 fat kine. And when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they had eaten them, but they were still ill-favored as at the beginning. So I awoke. And I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came up, upon one stalk, full and good. And behold, 7 ears, withered, thin, and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them. And the thin ears swallowed up the 7 good ears. And I told it unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me. And Yosef said unto Pharaoh, The dream of Pharaoh is one. What Elohim is about to do, he has declared unto Pharaoh. The 7 good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years, the dream is one. And the 7 lean and ill-favored kine, that came up after them are 7 years, and also the 7 empty ears blasted with the east wind, they shall be 7 years of famine. That is the thing which I spoke unto Pharaoh, what Elohim is about to do, he has shown unto Pharaoh. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty, throughout all the land of Egypt. And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine. And all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land. And the plenty shall not be known in the land, by reason of that famine which follows, for it shall be very grievous. And, for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice, it is because the thing is established by Elohim, and Elohim will shortly bring it to pass. Now therefore, let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint overseers over the land, and take up the fifth part of the land of Egypt in the 7 years of plenty. And let them gather all the food of these good years that come, and lay up grain under the hand of Pharaoh for food in the cities, and let them keep it. And the food shall be for a store to the land, against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, Can we find such a one as this, a man in whom the spirit of Elohim is? And Pharaoh said unto Yosef, Forasmuch as Elohim has shown you all this, there is none so discreet and wise as you. You shall be over my house. And according unto your word, shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than you. And Pharaoh said unto Yosef, See, I have set you over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his signet ring from his hand, and put it upon Yosef's hand. And arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck. And he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had, and they cried before him, Arbrek. And he set him over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Yosef, I am Pharaoh, and without you, shall no man lift up his hand or his foot, in all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called Yosef's name Zaphnath Paanea. And he gave him to wife Osnath, the daughter of Phera, priest of On. And Yosef went out over the land of Egypt. And Yosef was 30 years old, when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Yosef went out from the presence of Pharaoh, and went throughout all the land of Egypt. And in the 7 years of plenty, the earth brought forth in heaps. And he gathered up all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities. The food of the field, which was round about every city, laid he up in the same. And Yosef laid up grain as the sand of the sea, very much, until they left off numbering, for it was without number. And unto Yosef were born 2 sons, before the year of famine came, whom Osnath, the daughter of Phera, priest of On, bore unto him. And Yosef called the name of the firstborn M'nasheh, for Elohim has made me forget all my toil, and all my father's house. And the name of the second called he Ephraim, for Elohim has made me fruitful in the land of my affliction. And the 7 years of plenty, that was in the land of Egypt, came to an end. And the 7 years of famine began to come, according as Yosef had said, and there was famine in all lands. But in all the land of Egypt, there was bread. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, Go unto Yosef, what he says to you, do. And the famine was over all the face of the earth. And Yosef opened all the storehouses, and sold unto the Egyptians. And the famine was sore in the land of Egypt. And all countries came into Egypt to Yosef, to buy grain, because the famine was sore in all the earth.